What is up, my crazy simps? Today, we're going to be getting the ball rolling on the Dimensional Seed, one of the components to the All the Mods star. But first, we're going to need to take a little dive into Occultism. And what's a better way to do that than to dive into a spooky dungeon? So we're going to go down these spooky little steps, a little faster. When we enter the dungeon, look at this. Ooh, spooky. Like this, we got a Dictionary of Spirits. This is the manual to occultism. So in here you will find everything that we are going to need today and everything that you need to know about occultism. And it all starts with getting started. And the first thing we're going to need to do is get some of this Demon's Dream fruit. And the way you get this Demon's Dream fruit is you just break crops. It'll drop some seeds. Look at that, just got some Demon's Dream seeds. You plant those in a farm and grow some Demon's Dream fruit. And what this does is it allows us to eat and give us the third eye buff. It doesn't last very long though, so you gotta have a lot of it. Oh, this is spooky. So what the third eye buff allows you to do is it allows you to see into the other world, which is basically the plane where demons live. Demons and devils and ghouls and gobs. And when you have the third eye buff on, it allows you to take a little glimpse into that world, and there are bits of it peeking out into our world. Now we just got to find some. You can find this stuff called Otherstone, which is basically like cobblestone, but in the other world. We're going to need that for a lot of this mod. We just got to find some. It should have a nice little glow to it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. Okay, so I can't find any Otherstone. I've been looking around for a good minute. There's another material that we can look for. It's called Otherworld Trees, and that'll give us other wood, I think. Other wood? I'm not entirely sure. And we're going to fly around and hopefully we can find ourselves some Otherworld trees. You know, it doesn't look like I can find any. All right, well, that's not too important. We just have to do something else. But since we can't find this Otherstone and Otherworld trees in our world, maybe there's conflict with other mods. I don't know. I'm an amateur at this. Another way you can do it, which is much easier and what we're going to be doing anyways, is we're going to be throwing some Demon Dream fruit down and we're going to light it on fire. And that's going to create Spirit Fire. And what this allows us to do is we're going to throw andesite into it. Ooh. This is going to give us some Otherstone. And then we're going to throw some oak saplings. And it's going to give us some oak saplings, but occultism. These are the Otherworld trees saplings. We're going to grow these up and we're going to get some other wood out of it. So we got our occultism oak sapling all grown up, and it looks exactly like a normal oak tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to eat our third eye, and you see it changes a little bit. Now it is Otherworld wood. And so we're just going to mine this up, and now we have some Otherworld wood. Anyways, guys, we're going to need a buttload of this Otherstone, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw an entire stack of andesite in there. It's going to turn it immediately into Otherstone. And now let's see what else we have to do. Yeah, so you can use andesite Otherstone, oak saplings to occultism oak saplings, and then Otherworld wood into Otherworld ash, which we'll get into that, and diamonds into spirit gems, spirit attuned gems, which we will also get into that for what we're doing today. Next thing we're going to look at is candles. We can make candles in this. And candles are going to be used for a bunch of different things like rituals and what are called pinnacles, which are like a different kind of ritual, and other stuff. But you don't specifically have to use the occultism candles because we can just use regular old Minecraft candles in place. If you don't feel like going through and getting these candles, you can just use regular Minecraft candles. But I want to use these candles for, aesthetic purposes. And what we're going to do is we're going to need to get a butcher's knife from occultism, and we're going to need to kill like pigs and sheep and stuff to get occultism tallow. And that'll give us some occultism white candles. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to make a butcher's knife. There we go, a butcher's knife. Now let's go kill some pigs. First, I'm going to enchant this, though. Oh, we can kill cows. Okay. So just going to kill some of these cows. Oh, look at that. Got a lot of tallow. There you go. I got a stack and 4 tallow. So I think that's going to be plenty for what we need it for. And you just combine the tallow with string and you get yourself some candles. Let's get a couple of those. So I mentioned that we're going to be doing rituals in this, and that is the main focus of occultism, is putting down runes to make rituals happen and summon demons to do your bidding. First things first is looking to books of binding. Books of binding are really easy to make. We just need to throw some black dye into spirit fire to make some purified ink, and we just put that into a certain combination with dyes, and it'll give us a different book of binding for different demons. Like, for example, Foliot, which we are going to be using, requires white dye with book and quill and purified ink, and then other demons, such as Genie, requires green dye, or maybe purple dye, orange and purple dye. And you just combine whatever book you got, Book of Binding Foliot, which we're going to be using, with your Dictionary of Spirits, and it's going to give you a bound book of binding. So let's go ahead and do that real fast. We're going to need some purified ink. So it's going to take this black dye. We're going to need a lot of purified ink. If you want to get deep into occultism, you're going to need a lot, and you just want to throw it into the fire. There you go. Look at that. Another thing about this fire, it doesn't hurt you at all. It's really nice. I got some purified ink. We're going to need some books and quills. Make like 4 of them for now. And now let's make our book of binding for Foliot. We're missing white dye, actually. Book of binding for Foliot. Combine it with our book of spirits, like so. And now I have a bound book of Foliot. And this book can be used in multiple different rituals, depending on what ritual you're making. Okay, whatever. Next thing we're going to need is we're going to need some white chalk. And this is going to be used to make our runes. And it's not hard to make at all. Well, kind of hard to make. We need to throw some other stone into a furnace, and we're going to need to throw some otherworld wood into a spirit fire, and we're going to get burnt other stone and otherworld ashes. And we just combine those like so, side by side. Get some impure white chalk, throw that into some spirit fire, give us some white chalk. And if you ever want to clean up your chalk markings, you can make a brush real easy and just clean the chalk up. And that'll bring us to the next step, which is getting sacrificial bowls. Not hard to make at all. You just use some other stone to make sacrificial bowl. And at the very center of your rituals, you're going to need a golden sacrificial bowl. And you just surround a sacrificial bowl with gold to make a golden one. So I think we have everything we need for our very first ritual. You see, I already have some a place little picked out for where I want to put it. First, we need to put our golden sacrificial bowl into the center right there. You're going to get our other sacrificial bowls. You can put them anywhere where there isn't something else, basically. So it's best to wait till the very end. For this ritual specifically, we're going to be putting candles right in these areas like so. And then where you see this ancient wood, you're going to put runes. Look how cool that looks. And if you want to change the runes just to fit like a certain aesthetic or something, just right click on it again. It changes the rune up. And it doesn't affect the ritual at all. Runes, or the shape of the rune, is purely decorative. All right, with these sacrificial bowls, you can put them wherever you don't see something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them in these corners right here. And now all we have left to do is get this ritual started. In this specific ritual, the first ritual we're going to be doing is what's called an Aviar's Circle. And it's used for only one thing, and that is to summon a Foliot Crusher, which is just something that crushes up your items for you. So what we're going to do is we need to place some silver, gold, iron, and copper into these sacrificial bowls. In the very center, once everything else is complete, we're going to be putting the bound book of Foliot into here. Ah, very spooky. And Rituals just summons a little demon guy that can do stuff for us. Look at that. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And what we're going to do is we're going to give him some endstone. We're doing this specifically some endstone because we're going to be using that in a later ritual. And yeah, it just crushes it up. Kind of annoying, actually. And it takes forever. There are different tiers of crushers. This is the weakest tier. It takes forever and it only gives you 2 back. It takes 1 ore, crushes it up into 2, or in our case, 1 endstone, crushes up into crushed endstone dust. We're just going to let this little guy run, and as we get into our next ritual. So yeah, just leave him alone. In order for us to get into some more powerful rituals, we are going to be needing some more powerful chalk. Namely, golden chalk is what we're going to need next. And we're going to need some spirit crystals, which I will get into making that. But first, let's make ourselves some golden chalk. What we're going to need some impure white chalk, and we're going to give it some gold dust and some glowstone, and make some impure golden chalk, and just going to toss that into a spirit fire like everything else. And yeah, we can also make impure purple chalk, which is kind of end possessed, and that's what we need the crushed endstone for, is for the impure purple chalk. And we can, throw that into a spirit fire, make it purple chalk. But yeah, let's go ahead and make ourselves some golden chalk for our next ritual. And guys, you're gonna have to make another impure white chalk. You can't use the one you already have. It has to be impure. All right, I'm gonna combine it with some gold dust and glowstone, get some impure golden chalk, and we're just gonna run over here, throw it in the fire. And it's gonna give us a nice, bright, shining golden chalk. We're just gonna take this and we're gonna make an Zivius's spectral compulsion. And it's not gonna be too hard. It's a low level ritual. It does require the golden chalk, and it's gonna require some of these spirit crystals. Some spirit attuned crystals. And this is where the spirit attuned gems I mentioned earlier come into play. You're just going to take a diamond, throw it into the spirit fire, and it's going to give you some spirit attuned gems. You're going to take that, make it into a 2x2, and it's going to give you some spirit attuned crystals. We just need 2 of them for this ritual. 1, 2. And very nice, very simple, very easy, and I love it. Now let's just get this ritual set up. As you can see, guys, this one isn't very hard to make at all, actually. It might even be a little easier than this one in terms of setup. But in terms of material cost, it is a little bit harder. What we're going to do is we're going to put some golden chalk in the corners. Just like so. And then the rest is going to be white chalk. Just like that. And what we are going to be doing with this ritual is we are going to be making the very first component of a dimensional storage actuator. The storage actuator base. Simple enough, we just need 3 gold ingots, a bound book of foliot, and an other stone pedestal, which isn't too hard to make. We just need some other stone and some other stone slabs. Get a pedestal, and we're going to get some gold. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And now we just got to make ourselves a bound book of foliot. All right, so let's get it set up. Just like so. Doesn't really matter where you put this, honestly. I can hear that demon in the background. It's so annoying. Wish I did it farther away or something. There we go, guys. Get the actuator base. We're actually going to need 2 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and make another one real fast. Lightning fast and in a hurry. I got 2 actuator bases. You guys, we don't really need this anymore. So let's just go ahead and destroy it. And guys, as a note on the dimensional seed, which is what we're making, it requires a massive setup. It requires 2 of these dimensional storage actuators. But they look exactly, in this picture, they look exactly like dimensional storage bases. So do not get that confused, because I got it confused in my creative world when I was testing this out, and it threw me off for a while. And I had no idea what I was doing. But just remember, we just made the storage base, which is used to make the dimensional storage actuator. And the next thing we're going to need to do to make the actuator is make this dimensional crystal matrix. That requires a Strigior's higher binding, which is a much more complex ritual. And that is where the purple chalk comes into play. Got a nice little layout of where I need to put everything, or all the chalk at least. But first, let's make ourselves some purple chalk. What we're going to need to do first is we're going to need to throw some otherworld wood into the spirit fire to get some wood ash because we ran out. And then make ourselves some impure chalk. We're going to combine that with crushed endstone and obsidian dust. And obsidian dust from Mechanism works. They have occultism and they have mechanism obsidian dust, and they both work. But one thing to note is that crushed endstone can only be obtained from occultism. So you have to summon a crusher demon like we did Foliot, and you have to crush some endstone up for that. And you get yourself, combine it all together, and you get yourself some purple chalk. And again, throw that into the fire, and you get yourself some pure purple chalk. And one cool thing to note about this mod pack is if you see a ritual and you're like, oh, it's really complex, I don't want to have to look back in here, click on this eyeball down here, show multi-block preview. And it has everything. You just right click where you want it to be centered, like so. It stays there, and you just fill in the gaps, which is super awesome. So we'll start with this purple right there, right there, right there, and right there. Then we do gold, and now we just gotta fill in the white. And of course, the golden sacrificial bowl and the spirit attuned crystals, and then finally the candles. And you see at the top, we have a completion bar, and this last one is going to complete it. Complete. And like that, it's all good. Now we just got to figure out where to put our sacrificial bowls. I'm going to put them on the end here. You can put these bowls anywhere 8 blocks away from the golden sacrificial bowl. So that's not like 8 across, it's like 8 this way. So if I wanted to, I could put it right here and it would work. I could put them all in this corner and it would work. But I don't want to do that. And I like the symmetry. You could do that if you wanted to. But anyways, in order to get this dimensional crystal matrix, we are going to need actually another bound book of a different demon, a genie demon, which is, again, not hard to make. It's just a different color dye. So we just got to get some green dye, which to me doesn't make sense because it's a purple book. We're going to need 2 of those because we're going to need 2 dimensional crystal matrices because we're going to need 2 storage actuators, dimensional storage actuators. So we have 2 of them. Let's combine them with our Dictionary of Spirits. And let's get the rest of the materials. We're going to need 3 blocks of quartz and an ender pearl. And I'm going to show you guys, I know I need ender pearls. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like if you make a wrong ritual. So let's say you have your quartz down and you think it's supposed to be Eye of Ender for this ritual. And you put your book in there, nothing will happen. It says invalid ritual. It'll actually tell you exactly what you did wrong. See, it says, were you trying to perform ritual started binding genie into dimensional matrix? We're making the dimensional matrix, so yes. And it's missing items Ender Pearl. And like, oh, I have an Eye of Ender. So you just put that down and it's super cool. Like error correction, you hardly ever see that in a mod pack or in a mod, which I really like that. Anyways. And another thing to note, guys, is the more advanced the ritual is, the longer it takes. So this one over here didn't take but like 10 seconds. This one's going on for like a minute. Oh, there we go. And there we go. We got a dimensional crystal matrix. Look at that. Now let's make one more. Also, guys, you notice that my Crusher Demon is gone. Spirits, when you summon them into the world, they have what's known as, I think, essence decay is what the mod calls it. Basically means that they won't last forever. They will eventually just vanish. I killed mine. I killed my demon because he was annoying me. He just kept making noise. And another dimensional storage matrix or dimensional crystal matrix. Now all we need to do is just combine them. Put one right there. Get a dimensional storage actuator. Put another one right on top of it. Another dimensional storage actuator. We have 2 of them now. And that is it for occultism. That's all we needed it for. For this All the Mod Star journey. That's all we needed it for. If you have more questions, leave a comment and I will gladly do some more videos on occultism. This is a super cool mod. I would love to get deeper into it. I just don't really need to right now. But if you want to see more of it, just comment below. And I will gladly do more. But with the completion of that, that brings us into the second phase of this video, which will not take very long, so don't worry about it. So I mentioned that we are trying to make this dimensional seed. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get into the spirit mod in order to make the crafting system for it. And it's going to require a ton of resources, and that is why we made these dimensional storage actuators, which we are going to be placing down as the very first block in this structure. So all we need is, and whoa, look at that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so these are the first 2 blocks of the structures that we are making. And a couple of the other blocks that we're going to be needing is we're going to need some compressed emeralds, obsidian, instone, diamond, soul sand, and netherrack, which is, it takes a lot because we're going to need 4 times compressed diamond blocks, 5 times compressed emerald, obsidian, soul sand, and instone blocks, and a 6 times compressed netherrack block, which I have a couple of them, but oh my gosh, is this resource intensive. Emerald blocks, it takes, for 5 times compressed emerald blocks, it takes 500,000 emeralds. Which I don't have. I am currently working on it. But I have the diamonds, I have the obsidian, and I'm working on the instone, but I have the netherrack and the soul sand. So let's get those placed down. There you go. So I got those placed down. All we need now is we need the emerald and the instone. But I can make the other items that we need too. So another aspect of the dimensional seed crafting recipe is we're going to need some of these miniature portals, namely a nether portal, an exit portal, and an end portal. They're not very hard to make if you are late game like I am. And you're also going to need a teleport pad from the All the Mods mod. Oh, I need to get into elemental craft for this video. Oh. Okay, so these portals are actually much harder than I thought they would be to make. We're gonna have to do it next episode. But we've got the ball rolling. That's the important thing. We've got the ball rolling. Crafting recipe is pretty easy, except for these infused teleportation cores, because they require you to go into elemental craft. So in the next episode, we are going to be getting into some elemental craft, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.